to Atlantic Ocean, upon me hills, to country, to educate, elevate, and promote. Yeah, focus on Liberia, for Liberia, Liberia, for Liberia, yeah. From Monday to Sunday. From Monday to Sunday, it's focused on Liberia. Talk about home affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jack.
Present two choices. The current ruling party, Congress for Democratic Change, CDC, of incumbent President Weah, and the former ruling party and the former ruling United Party of former Vice President Joseph Weah. The decision to choose one of these parties has not been easy and comfortable, because we, the members of the CPP, have consistently criticized and differed with the current ruling party on issues of governance and management of the country's resources. At the same time, we have also consistently voiced and held skepticism for the former ruling United Party's ability to institute good governance and prudent management of the economy. These drawbacks on both sides made the decision to choose and prefer either party a very tedious and uncomforting experience. Be as it may, and as headache in reaching this decision has been, our partisans throughout the length and breadth of the country, from the beaches of the Krukos to the polar forests of Bomi, from the mountains of Nimba to the shores of Cape Mount, from the haunted forests of Grangia to the rice fields of Lofa, from the cassava fields of Basel to the hospital homes of Bonk. Our partisans have held one desire, and their cries have always been the same. And that is, the CPP cannot and must not remain neutral in this election. We must take a side. Based on the demands of our people to pick a side, the Senate bearer of the collaborating political parties, Mr. Endorsement, set up a team of 5 presidents headed by Mr. Charlie Bronson to engage in meaningful discussions with the 2 political parties engaged in the run-up elections to form our final decision. The desire to hold discussions with both parties was very important to us. Important to us because we promised the Liberian people that we would work to change the system to benefit all Liberians. Although we did not win the elections, we also believe that our support to any political party must be driven by a desire for change, and that party's commitment to our change agenda. Our team was directed to place our 12 policy proposals proposals on the agenda for discussion with the two political parties, the UP and CDC. After several meetings and intensive discussions with both political parties, both the CDC and the UP agreed to all that the CPP requested. Thus, the ultimate decision to choose and support one political party then fell to the executive committees of the LP and the ANC. The LP and the ANC executive committees deliberated intensively and having considered all other things, voted for one political party. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, on account of the mandate and decision of the executive committees of the Liberty Party and Alternative National Congress, it is my distinguished honor to announce to the Liberian people that the partisans and executives of the CPP have endorsed and will support It is my distinguished pleasure and honor to announce to the world and the Liberian people that the partisans and executives of the CPP representing the membership of the Liberty Party and the Alternative National Congress have resolved to support and endorse the re-election of President
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I am Anthony Sear. A pleasure and welcome to yet another edition of the Hour of Politics. And you know, I'm the host. Thank you for joining us. The CPP has endorsed the re-election of the CDC or President George Weah, whereas ACO has endorsed Jose Yumambuaka of the Unity Party. Today, I'm here to do an analysis of the CPP's endorsement of the CDC. Thank you for joining. Share the broadcast and let us go into the analysis. How significant is the CPP endorsement for the CDC versus the ACO for the Unity Party? Is the acceptance of the election results followed by endorsements a show of our democracy maturing? Or is this just a political move to earn political dividends by these parties and individuals doing these endorsements? Will the CPP endorsement move their voters to vote for President Weah? Does this give President Weah an opportunity to leave a legacy? Will we see a different and better government should the CDC win this election? Or will it be just more of the same? What do you think? Well, this is your analysis of the questions. How significant, one may ask, is the endorsement of the CPP for the CDC and President Weah? Did you even imagine in your wildest imagination that there will ever come a time that a CPP that was sometime robust and ceaseless in its political attacks against the CDC and President Weah in particular, come to terms to endorse President Weah's re-election? The CDC, if there has the CPP, if there has been one chorus that a relentlessly sung throughout, that has been to make the CDC or President Weah a one-term president. That has been more like the mantra of Alexander Benedict Cummings. And may I ask, Mr. Cummings was not at the endorsement ceremony. Is Mr. Cummings trying to play neutral again, or this time it is different? And may I ask also, what drove the CPP to the point of endorsing President Weah's re-election? Wasn't this CPP with its leader Alexander Benedict Cummings that has been saying their goal is to make President Weah a one-term president? How could they somersault this fast at this 5G speed and endorse President Weah re-election? The CPP and their leader Alexander Benedict Cummings have been clear. They have always said the stealing must stop. Has the stealing stopped? They have accused the CDC of being plundering state resources, amassing wealth, and stealing from the coffers of Liberia. Has the stealing stopped? Is this endorsement based on facts? Did they endorse the CDC because of their enmity that they have with the Unity Party and Joseph Walker in particular? What drove this endorsement? Is it that they had a decision to make between lesser of two evils, as they will say in Liberia? In Councillor Tiawan Gonglo's words, Liberia as a nation has two choices: to choose between 6 years row, meaning thief, and 12 years row. But then the very Gonglo and his political party will choose the 12 years row over the 6 years row. So the CPP of Alexander Benedict Cummings is now choosing the 6-year row over 12 years row. Is this what this actually is? Does this signify that our democracy is maturing? Are we improving into our political engagement? Is this what actually is? Is this a political move or political dividend in the immediate term and in the long term for Mr. Cummings and the ANC? Is this what this actually is? What do you think? I have your answers. And so, folks, to answer your first question, how significant is this CPP endorsement for the CDC versus the ACOR endorsement for the Unity Party? What happened, first of all, before these two endorsements came down that may either signify maturity in our democracy? We must first remind ourselves of the first round of election and the results. Mr. Cummings in 2017, or the ANC in 2017, got 112,000 votes. Surprisingly and strangely, having had 5 years of political work done, that ANC of Alexander Benedict Cummings got demoted, numerically speaking, from 112,000 votes amounting to 7% to 29,000 votes, constituting 1.6%. Strange, right? So this CPP is now endorsing the CDC when it has declined significantly in strength and in numbers and relevance, if we look at the numbers, right? So how significant is this? If the significance is not in the numbers, then where it is? Can we say that this endorsement is significant in any way, shape, and form? Is the significance of this endorsement the fact that the ANC and the CPP as a political institution has demonstrated maturity in its political dealings since the CPP got its standard bearer as Alexander Benedict Cummings? The CPP, I can argue, has exhibited a great deal of political maturity. Though they have been attacking as a political institution, I'm not talking about the individuals that made the senseless noise on Facebook. I'm talking about the CPP as an institution. The CPP as an institution, when it was formalized as a political institution, and when it had elected a standard bearer in Alexander Benedict Cummings, it has demonstrated some level of political maturity as an institution. Now, the head of this institution is Alexander Benedict Cummings. He is a good man who has an impressive leadership record to his name. He has demonstrated grace as a politician, but more so, he has been a little more vocal, even though his speeches have been nothing short of cold water speeches. If there is one thing we can all agree on about Alexander Benedict Cummings, is the credibility that he brings to politics. No tinted record of any stolen money whatsoever. So he has been the face of the CPP. He is an internationalist, a business executive who a lot of people have so much respect for, not only in Liberia, but across the globe. For the CPP that he has to endorse a government, the CDC government, that is known in the eyes of many as corrupt, inept, it projects an opportunity to salvage the CDC bad name that it has had over the years. If there is anything that is significant, that would be one of them. I'll repeat that. For the CPP held by Alexander Benedict Cummings, a man of respectability, to endorse the CDC, despite he calling the CDC a government of thieves, that the CDC or President Weah must be a wanton president, to somersault on the basis that they have proffered solutions and the CDC has accepted those solutions, those fixes, told the nation. And so on that basis of such agreement, they are endorsing the CDC. It gave the CDC face. It savages the CDC bankrupt reputation as a government. It projects that possibility. So, in that sense, it is significant. It's also significant with the numbers. It depends on who you talk to. Will it even move numbers in the CDC direction? Oh, of course, yes, it will move numbers. What numbers will it move? Here is it. The CDC do 1 gram basel. The fact that the CPP standard bearer, vice standard bearer, in person of Charlene Bronsky, hail from Grand Bassa County, and the fact that Wesson Garfield supported the CPP and Elizabeth Benedict Cummings, and Wesson Garfield won 55,000 votes in Grand Bassa County. The CPP as an institution also won some votes in Grand Bassa County. The Liberty Party that is a member of the CPP being viewed and having strong presence in Grand Bassa County, given the history of the party, it will definitely, without any question and any doubt, will increase the numbers of the CDC. Wesson Guy, as an individual, netted 55,000 votes running for the Senate. He has endorsed President Weah, those supported the CPP in the first round. So that is a collaboration of votes coming together and moving in the CDC direction. So it is safe to say that all those that voted for Wesson Garfield, if even just 90% will vote for the CDC because of his endorsement, and those that voted for the CPP, if 90% will vote for the CDC will significantly be increasing a vote in Grand Bassa County. So yes, it will move numbers in the CDC direction. Now, another thing we should understand here is this. What will make the CPP voters to vote for the CDC versus the Unity Party? What would make them to do so? Now, the CPP political goal has been Alexander Benedict Cummings. The ANC political goal has been Alexander Benedict Cummings. These people worship their political gods. They sympathize with them. They feel for them so badly as though they are kids who need nurturing. They want to do anything to see them happy. It's like that mother who cares for that baby so much. And when that baby is crying, she doesn't sleep until she gives that child that pacifier, and that child sleeps again. This is how these political supporters of the political characters behave. What I'm saying is, Cummings is being pitied by those who love him and support him. They remember the Unity Party or Joseph Walker hurt him so bad. Some of them are even unhappy why Joe Walker would not even choose him, even though that is history now. But they remember one thing, that Joe Walker testified against him. They remember one thing, that the Unity Party did everything to destroy Alexander Benedict Cummings politically. If there is anything left to make Cummings happy, it's to see Joseph Walker not becoming president. I will want to believe supporters of the ANC and the CPP would rather see a Weah as president for their anger, for their dissatisfaction and displeasure, and for the enmity they have between the Unity Party and the CPP. So they would rather see a Walker not becoming president, just as their guy Cummings will not be president, at least for now. They will want to see that happen to Joseph Walker and the Unity Party that hurt them so much. So on that basis, I believe more ANC or CPP supporters would rather go with their parties or their political institution, the CPP endorsement of George Manuel Weah. And they have reasons, justifiable reasons in their opinion, but not in my opinion. In their opinion, they have itemized some fixes to the political woes and the economic woes that we have in our country. The ineffectiveness of the CDC government. There's prescriptions And that's what they use as a political institution in their negotiation with the CDC. That here are the things we want to see done. And as much as you agree to put these fixes in place, you have our support. And in fact, these fixes will be the determinants of who we support in the second round. As an institution, they have laid that out. So the option was for the Unity Party to pick those, or the CPP, or the CDC to take those. Now, the CDC, as we know now, has accepted those fixes and claim or agree or promise that A will implement those fixes for a better Liberia. And so that is the CPP justification now for this endorsement. But don't forget, you cannot dismiss the political hurt that the CPP suffers from the Unity Party. That Cummings, as a political leader of the CPP and ANC, suffer from the Unity Party. They saw the Unity Party of Joseph Boakai as a complete betrayal, an institution that would not subscribe to agreement. That's how they saw the Unity Party. And so on that basis, they are taking their bet on President Weah, whether or not they assure President Weah is anyone who will adhere to any agreements. But because of their hurt, in my judgment, because of the enmity, they would rather see a President Weah re-elected, and so they will endorse him because they believe or they feel that they can rather do business. They rather do business with the CDC. The CDC, in my judgment, they see the CDC as the lesser of two evils now. Because, like I said earlier, Tiawan Gonglo said we have a choice between 12-year rule and a 6-year rule. And it's likely now that the CPP is going with the 6-year rule because that is the lesser of the two evils, for lack of a better word. So, folks, is the acceptance of the election result followed by endorsement a show of democracy that our democracy is maturing, or this is just a political move for political dividend? Well, the two can be true. Yes, if you look at the election results, folks, the election results for me were strange. I, as an individual, do not under any circumstance believe that an Appeton got more votes. I don't believe that. That Appeton as an individual got more votes than Akko. I don't believe that as an individual. And that is my view, and I hold it so strongly. For I follow this thing. I know the election history of Liberia. Liberians are not known for voting unknown individuals. Imagine Cummings struggling to net numbers. Imagine Tiawan Gonglo struggling to make the numbers. And Appeton, who is politically unknown in Liberia. His political party has no history. Appeton as an individual has no history of running for anything in Liberia. To have netted 40,000 votes, more than the Liberian People's Party of Tiawan Gonglo and the CPP of Alexander Benedict Cummings, when ANC as a single political party netted 112,000 votes, amounting to 7%, would now be downgraded to 1.6%. That is unbelievable. The numbers tell me something not right, but not leave it. So these are the results of the first round of elections. The CPP even wrote a letter. How shocked and surprised it was to have seen them perform so dismally, so disappointingly, so unbelievably. They registered that. And yet, they will accept those results that look so strange. And they will decide to move on. I think, despite that results, I don't know I can say that is commendable. But the fact remains, for that political institution that put so much time and resources into the election, to have performed so badly as a collaboration, far worse, far disappointing than a single political party and a single individual. That is unbelievable. That has no name recognition in Liberian political history whatsoever. An appetite. And yet, they are saying, let's move on. The Liberian people have decided. And because the Liberian people have decided that they are a Weah re-election and Joseph Boakai as president, who are we? We'll put our qualms aside. And we will make a decision based on the things that we want to see happen. And so they went further to say, yeah, are the things we want to see done. The two of you, the Unity Party and the CDC, any of you who accepts these fixes, we will do business with you. And according to them, the CDC has accepted those fixes to the woes of our country. And so they made a conscious decision. According to them, it was a tough decision. They debated as an institution. They went back and forth. The leadership met. And then, despite of their drawbacks against these two political institutions, who have had the opportunity to lead our country for 18 solid years, and we don't even have good roads, they have decided to settle for the guy they have done everything to make a one-term president. As disappointing as that may be, that is their decision. Does that show our democracy is maturing? That these people are moving on. That Liberia must move on. Is that a show of democracy? I saw leaders of CDC at the headquarters of the CPP making speeches. Is that a show of maturity of our democracy? Is our democracy improving now? That leaders will swallow their pride and anger and disappointment and allow the country to make progress. Is that what this is? Somebody will believe so. Or is it just a move for what it benefits these political actors in the short and long run? Oh, don't get it twisted. The CPP were gracious in making this endorsement. And there are reasons to believe that the CDC will return the favor. I saw a Weah Howard Taylor speaking happily at the endorsement ceremony. She sounded as though this thing is a done deal. She will maintain her job as vice president, and her 1.5 million budget will continue to roll. That she will remain in power for the next 6 years. That's how she sounded. And I saw her quoting some individuals who are profound in public leadership. Folks, was this a decision for political dividends for the CPP and its members? Maybe so. Maybe it's something in the interest of our country. So, folks, let's come to this other question that we must discuss. Will the CPP endorsement move the voters to President Weah? That question has been answered. Another thing that we must look at, does this give President Weah an opportunity to leave a legacy? Does this give President Weah an opportunity to leave a legacy? Of course. This presents an opportunity to for President Weah to leave a legacy. But does President Weah have it in his understanding how to leave a legacy? Does he even understand the importance of what a legacy is? Is this an opportunity for President Weah to redeem himself now that he has amassed wealth significantly? Is this an opportunity now to at least, for him to at least be on the side of the people and the country? Is this an opportunity for him to produce a more profound, maybe that's not the better word, a better government? Is this an opportunity for him to do so? Because the CPP has some talents. The CPP has some qualified people. With this endorsement, will they be factored in? Will individuals from the CPP be brought on board to form a more responsible and inclusive government that is accountable to the people and that will meet the needs of the people should they win this thing? That is the opportunity it presents. But will the president see this and seize the moment? One can only hope he sees it and seizes the moment and leaves a legacy for his country. That is an opportunity it presents. But one may wonder, does Weah, the president, has eyes to see? Does President Weah has the understanding? I am sure of one understanding that the president has, that he has demonstrated so profoundly. That understanding that he has is the understanding of how to win an election. Many of you who have followed me know me to be a critical mind, that Anthony tells the truth all the time, except where he does not know what the truth is. I do. If there's one thing President Weah understands, it's the understanding of what it would take and what must be done to win an election. I give it to President Weah and the CDC. And this is why. If you look at the election result, the CDC got 804,000 votes against 19 political candidates. 20 presidential candidates went into the race. The 19 of them went there to get President Weah out. So it was 1 against 19. President Weah won against 19. He won the highest number of votes based on final results of the National Election Commission. If the numbers are correct, I maintain the questionability of those results, though. But I have not seen any significant indication from the political parties who participated that they were cheated. So until then, we maintain that the results are what they actually supposed to be. I was supposed. So on that note, President Weah, we can now say he won more votes against 19 persons. So the one who won more votes against 19%, you think, does not have the capacity to win more votes against one individual when he has done it against that individual and that one political party before, the Joseph Boakai of the Unity Party. He could feel that, yes, I can do this again. I did it before. Or the CDC can say, we did this before, we can do it again against Joseph Boakai. Mind you, and hear me well, the CDC is better positioned now than it were in 2017. I repeat that. The CDC is better positioned now than it was in 2017. And yet, a CDC that was less positioned, that was not better positioned in 2017, will go to defeat the Unity Party and will go to defeat Joseph Boakai. Now that the CPP, the CDC is better positioned, now that the CDC has money, now that the CDC controls even the National Election Commission and controls the government, don't you think the CDC is much more better in a position to say, I don't need the CPP, I don't need any other person. If I can win more votes than 19%, I mean against 19%, what makes you think I can win more votes now against one individual who I have the history of flogging in an election of winning 14 counties out of 15, and the person will just win one county, which having to be the one that person hails from. President Weah and the CDC could have adapted that posturing. They could have adapted that posturing. That, hey, we got this. We've done this before. We have more money now. We control the structures of government. We can make political deals. We can do anything we want. And we will win this thing. We don't need anybody. But the CDC and President Weah exhibited a profound understanding that you don't take risks. Most so when you have the narrative stuck against you as a government that is incompetent, you want to get all you can get to solidify your base, to solidify your strength, to increase your numbers and not take any risks whatsoever. That is an understanding the CDC has brought into this election that is profound and that we all must recognize. So I conclude on the point to say, if there is one understanding that President Weah has that is profound, that is sharp, that the CDC has as a political institution that is profound, that is sharp, is the understanding that though we are better positioned, though we have more money, though we can give anybody any amount of money to move them on our side, we are not taking the risk of saying we don't need this person, we don't need that person, we have money, we're going to win. We're not going to do that. We're going to get whoever we can get, even if it means we reach a deal with them. So is Costa Umbo. So is the CPP Umbo. Musa Berete is a recognizable name and player in our politics. He is on Team CDC now. Cummings is an integrous name in our politics. He is on the CDC side now. That CPP endorsement of the CDC has the propensity, and the crewman will say the potentiality to salvage the bad name of the CDC, and that will make internationalists to see the CDC as a more mature political institution. If there's anything that comes out of this endorsement, that is it. It will show people on the outside that things are going to be better. That a responsible political entity is coming on the side of the CDC. It will show many that the CDC now will be inclined, now that it has struggled for so long how to govern because of competence, they will now bring more competent people on board. It is to the CDC benefit to do so. I'm not sure whether it benefits the ANC or Mr. Cummings in the long run, talking about 2029. A CDC friend told me that after this second term of President Weah, the CDC will be looking for a leader. Maybe this calculation has been factored in by the CPP or the ANC. Somebody might be saying that, well, the ANC has gone home. The ANC was birthed out of the CDC. So someone might say, well, going home is always the right thing to do. That the ANC is returning home. Whether that is the case, I don't know. We heard all manners of things from them against the CDC and this president. But yet, this is the decision they made. So I will conclude to say, in terms of repetition, salvaging the CDC, making the CDC to more mature, and engendering hope for the CDC, this endorsement is significant. That Cummings has put his name on the CDC, that the CDC, we should do business with them as a people. I think that is significant. And that will translate into numbers, and I explained that earlier. So folks in cyberspace, that is the analysis I have. on the endorsement of the CPP for the CDC. That will conclude today's brief and analytical edition of the Hour of Politics. So, folks, until I see you again, my name is Anthony Sear, and I brought you another educative analysis of the Hour of Politics. Here I focus on Liberia, where our business has been nothing but educating, elevating, and promoting all things Liberia. We taught to promote the political discourse of our country, Liberia. We taught to elevate a more responsible discourse and understanding of the political issues in our country. Until we see you again, I want to announce that this evening at 8 p.m., Focus on Liberia will be hosting its regular debate. We will be debating the sentencing of Spoon CEO Stanton Witherspoon, and we will also be discussing the endorsement of the CPP for the CDC and ACA for the Unity Party. That debate will be politically juicier. You don't want to miss it. The sun we are all Liberian takes us on now. Thank you for watching, and those who will watch later on. Bye-bye.
We are Liberian.